James, Patrick, welcome. Patrick, to you first. What's the role of financial institutions?
There are basically three roles of financial institutions in the fight against climate change. The first one is climate finance. It's to fund projects like green energy projects, food projects, adaptation projects that we need in the fight against climate change. The second one is financial inclusions. How do we make sure the most vulnerable populations have access to banking services and can invest, for example, smallholder farmers? And then, as anyone else, banks, financial institutions need to show the examples, need to decarbonize their own value chain, and they need to show the examples with their suppliers and their customers. And this is something on which Equity Bank has been a leader.
James, tell me, what is Equity Group doing to achieve its sustainability goals? What are your future strategies?
Thank you very much. We have looked at sustainability and our role in three perspectives. The first one is option one, where we really look at decarbonizing our entire systems. And there we have done very well. Kenya, fortunately, for instance, has 93% clean energy from the grid. And then we have gone to remove our things like generators. The biggest challenge is not even option two, where we are now looking at our entire value chain, our suppliers. There we can put conditions. It's what my colleague said about the customer base. How do we ensure the entire ecosystem is empowered to play the active role? And as he said, three financing options. The first one is really to finance projects that are greening the world. The second one is to help those in the front line to mitigate and adapt. So they need financing. And the last one is to ensure financial inclusion. Nobody is left behind as we take this move.
James, what role does the international community have to play in supporting an African-led climate action?
Climate has no boundaries. We are in this together. It's either we perish together or we swim together. And consequently, a continent like Africa that is disadvantaged in many aspects because of the impact climate change has had in it, and particularly the small-scale farmers. International community need to play a financing, enabling, and a catalytic role to ensure Africa catches up and plays its rightful role. The conservation and preservation, for instance, of the Congo Basin forest is very critical to ensure we maintain the carbon sinks and that Africa continues to develop without emissions.
Patrick, what's your perspective?
Well, the international community promised 14 years ago in Copenhagen to deliver $100 billion every year of capital flow into the global south, I would say, and emerging markets, to fight against climate change, both mitigation and adaptation. Well, this has not happened. So I think the first thing, and this is maybe for the first year that we will get close to the 100 billion. So I think the first thing the international community should do is just to leave its promises and to deliver on this 100 billion promise. And actually we will need to increase through loss and damage, through other funds, because the reality of climate change is that the most impacted areas tends to be localized in the south.
Patrick, James, thank you so much.